Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. So the 17.9k level has fallen, which gives us initial evidence that the blue count, which we've been tracking, is probably going to get invalidated. However, as I said before, it won't really be invalidated until we break above the 18,380 level. But you can compare the current level that Bitcoin pushed through with the 1305 level that Ethereum did. So that was the initial evidence that we are actually in this green count here, which should take us to an additional low and then an additional high. Yeah, so that we make another higher low and then move up. So I, however, have to revise this green support area here. So let's just take a quick look at what we did. So first of all, let's just zoom out a bit to explain also to everybody who's new where we are. Bitcoin, for our chart, the view since June. My view for Bitcoin is still that we are going to come down lower. Around 14k would be my primary expectation. It doesn't need to come down that low. Yeah, Bitcoin has certainly done what it needs to do. We talked about certain indicators that the low is already in. That's certainly possible. Best to deal with all of that is to regularly, I believe, dollar cost average into Bitcoin, because at the moment there is no evidence that the low is in. But if anybody doesn't want to miss it, dollar cost averaging at the current prices, especially if you don't have a portfolio, is probably a good strategy. No financial advice, that's what I'm doing. I do regularly DCA into Bitcoin, but not that much at the moment because my average price is lower anyway for Bitcoin, at least in my hodl portfolio. So I don't need to be very aggressive with going long, with going DCA at the moment. However, I do that regularly, and I will do that if we make another low again, and I will also do it if we have a confirmed low in place. We have this 2-week bullish crossover now on the MACD. I talked about that in recent videos, and it was worth observing it. And I did mention if we get that, and if it maintains, I mean, we don't have the 2-week period isn't over yet, but this is an initial signal that a low is either in or that we are very close, because whenever that happened recently, I showed you that in previous videos yesterday, a few days before, it indicated that a significant increase is coming. So I'm just saying there's no evidence, but it's an indicator. All these indicators are doing, they indicate. They are no confirmations. Yeah, but it's still an interesting fact and something to watch. So my view is that we are still in this fifth wave. I still have no evidence that a low is in, therefore I'm still expecting another low. Especially because this structure that happened here since we came down on the 9th of November has been nothing else than corrective. Of course, we have our impulses also within the corrections, but still, at the moment, especially as long as we are in this wedge pattern, it is likely that we make one more low. So with this wedge pattern, if I try to draw the lines absolutely accurately, we could still move all the way up to around, let's say, 18.4k. You can sometimes get a fake out above as well. In fact, I've been talking about the 18 to 19k level as a possibility since we've been down here. Yeah. Again, it's always funny because when we were down here, nobody wanted to believe it. Now we are up here. A lot of people now believe the bottom is in, but I believe we are going to come down again. Let's see what happens. We need to take it level by level, but obviously a nice volatility, nice green candles. People should be happy, and I think a lot of people are happy with the impulsive movements that we've seen the last few days in crypto. But I still think that we're getting close to a situation where a possible top could be in place, but we're gonna zoom in a minute. Yeah. Just to outline, I'm still waiting for one more low, yeah, ideally in the 14k region. And the count is here in this fifth wave, A, B, C, and I think we are in the C wave, and that looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The wave 5 doesn't need to be an ABC wave. We can also count it in a slightly different way, but I'm just leaving it on the chart because it doesn't make any difference really to the overall targets, only in minor ways. So if we zoom in now, we are probably in this green pattern that I've been tracking together with the blue count until we broke 17.9k, both were pointing into the same direction, higher. But I mentioned to you, if we break above 17.6k, the blue count will already get less likely, and above 17.9k, very unlikely. So I'm going to track the green count now predominantly. However, we need to be aware that the blue count is not invalidated. It will only be invalidated as soon as we break above 18.4k. Why is the blue count now less likely? Because the blue count tracks an ABC, and the C wave should not really have gone above the 17.6k level. The ABC pattern in blue is also a wave 2, because it tracks a wave 1 down, a wave 2 up. A wave 2 that breaks above the 78.6% retracement of the wave 1 is unlikely, and we've done that. Yeah, we are currently we're currently fighting with that 78.6 retracement, but the fact that we broke above 17.6 already makes that less likely. Okay, so no surprise that this is now getting quite impulsive because it is a wave 3. So also that's fine. And I believe the pattern is full or nearly full to the upside. So it's good that it's doing that just in time before the CPI data release, because I believe we could get a bit of volatility, maybe a little bit more upside before tomorrow or around the CPI data release. There will be a lot of volatility. If I'm not mistaken, last time it was here. We also had a rally and then crashed down, yeah. So we could get something similar tomorrow, not necessarily that low, but we could get quite a substantial wave 4 correction. Now that we assume we are in the green count, we could now be following that fourth wave down. So we are gonna zoom in and talk about targets now. Previous video I talked about that it was getting really borderline here with this wave 4, and I was starting to think that probably we were already in the fourth wave here, because we broke below key support for the fourth wave, yeah. But as you can see, it wasn't a substantial break. We didn't sustain below it, but it was obviously a little bit difficult because we came down to the 61.8 retracement. Now I'm starting to think, and this would be a more bullish setup if this was a 1-2-1-2 setup. Yeah, I can't rule that out. That would explain why we're rushing to the upside that much, because it could be a wave 3. Yeah, not a wave 5. To be honest, if I look at this, this might make sense that we had a wave 1-2-1-2. Just thinking. Yeah, I mean, this could be, and then this is a third wave and would still push a bit higher. We're going to take a look at resistance levels in a minute, but either way, all of that would confirm that we are in a third wave. I'll give you a wave 4 target now. This was the original target area. You can see how we rushed through it. So additional confirmation that this might actually be something a little bit more, let's call it bullish, that this might actually not be a fifth wave, but some kind of a third, which would eventually still move higher, because even though that's technically possible here, with such a long wave 5, the wave 5 is longer than you would normally expect it. That might be an explanation why we pushed a little bit lower in this fourth wave, because it could just be a 1-2-1-2 setup. Yeah. The other possibility is, I don't want to make it too complicated here, that this was already the fourth wave and this is, but you know, I think we need a bit more data. I need to see the structure when things have settled a little bit, but certainly what this looks like is that the entire move up is not yet finished. We don't see any exhaustion here. This is most likely going to push still higher. And yeah, what we talked about for the green count is certainly 18 to 19k being realistic. And this is certainly what is looking to be realistic now. What else did I want to do? Oh yeah, we talk about a support area now for the fourth wave. And we do that by taking the length of the third in green. Again, this could still push higher. So this is only now a support area that is based on the current highs. Obviously it's here already after midnight. So when I wake up in the morning, it might be we have pushed higher. And we are going to talk about resistance areas in a minute. And then this will have to move up as well, but you can do that on your own chart by just moving up the fib levels. And we're talking about here the that this count also with the fifth wave in green is valid as long as we are holding above 17,154. It's the 50% retracement that needs to hold. So if we push higher, what would be the next level? So I will need to look at this in detail. Maybe tomorrow I'm going to present you a slightly relabeled wave 3 here. Next resistances, just looking at structural resistance here, we're looking at the high of the wave 4, which I now possibly have to move over here then. But at that high, which would in that case then be an a B wave. So that high is at 18,400. That will be next resistance, together with the resistance of the descending trend line of the wedge. Pushing through that would be quite a bullish sign, depending on how we get through there, especially if we hold it. And then we could even be in something more bullish. I did talk about that before. What does Bitcoin need to do to actually prove that a bear market low is already in? Quite simply, what we would need to see is something like this. I need to see 5 waves together. And in this time frame, I need to see this as a wave 1, this as a wave 2, this as a wave 3, all of this. So the actual C wave would be a wave 3. We would then need to make a wave 4, hold support, then move higher in a 5, then come down in ABC, maybe again back into the roughly 17K region, hold support, see a bit of a green candle, maybe a small 5-wave move up. That's when I will confirm a low is in. Yeah, so the possibility is there, but we are far away from that. We are only sort of in this pattern, kind of halfway there, right? So there's much more Bitcoin needs to do. That's why it's way too early to confirm a low is in. Of course, the possibility is there, but the primary expectation is at the moment still for another low until the chart proves this assumption wrong. Yeah, that's my update about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.